Saw a few really interesting posts this week with different viewpoints and ideas and some really cool things about making B2B sales calls, cold calls. Jerry Hill of Connect and Sell, really brutally honest post Jerry made about he never used to really like making sales calls. He just didn't like doing it, but he loved the result that it gave. Now this is coming from one of the best cold callers out there, saying he doesn't really like it or didn't really like it, but he learned to like it. And then there was a great poster, a poll, we all love a poll on LinkedIn, from Michelle Cutler, hi Michelle, who posed, what do you prefer to do, cold calls or an email campaign? Now it wasn't what results do you want, it wasn't what outcome do you need, it was what action do you prefer taking. Let's be dead honest, there's a lot of us out there don't like the thought of making a sales call. It's a lot easier to send out an email campaign, a MailChimp, whatever it might be. It's like a lot of things, isn't it? You know, I like to feel healthy. I like the result of staying in shape and eating well. But I prefer burger and chips and sitting watching a movie. Quite often in business, it's not about liking it or not liking it. It's about doing it. And let's face it, sales calls, cold outreach using the phone, conversation first works. It fills your funnel, it creates relationships, it qualifies people in and out really quickly. It's an amazing skill. What if you just don't like doing it? What if you just don't want to do it, but you're a business owner and you've got to bring in revenue? Well, here's a few things that might make it a bit easier. Firstly, and I know this is the oldest advice in sales, simplify it. Look at what you're doing at the beginning of a call. If possible, and I highly advise this, listen to a recording. What can you throw overboard? If you can create a very simple, repeatable message to go out there with that gets attention and doesn't sound like every other sales call out there, you start to feel a bit more confident using it. You get it in the muscle. It gets out there to people with a simple to understand message that's in context. You'll start to feel a bit more confident. So first thing you can do, strip everything out, simplify your sales calls. Second one, and it goes hand in hand with point one, are you asking for too much on a sales call? Are you thinking you can go from hello to a fully qualified meeting to sign a contract in one phone call? Now, I know depending on what you're selling and ticket price and that might be possible, but slow down. You can't ask for a June wedding on a first date. You're there to get attention and to just be curious if it's worth having a conversation. If you put a huge expectation on yourself from every call you make, of course it's going to be terrifying. Thirdly, and I know what people are going to say about this, but role play. Now, why do we not like role play? Just the mere thought. If I say at the beginning of a training course, we're going to do role play, people go green, they're a little bit sick in their mouth, they start looking for the fire exits. This is mainly built by bad experiences of sales role play. Some manager in the 90s telling you to sit back to back and we're going to enact a 10-minute sales call while your oppo does their best to make you look like a proper biff. That's not what role play should be about. There was a great phrase used by a guy on our podcast the other year, Dominic Colenso. Hi, Dominic. And he was saying about anything to do with talking to other people in a professional capacity was, don't let the first time you say it be the first time you've said it. And this is where role play works really well. So how do you do it so you don't want to throw up in your mouth? Well, take a sales objection. We're happy with what we've got. Get your oppo to give you the objection. We're happy with what we've got, and then reply with how you handle that objection, and then stop. That's it. Say the objection, reply to the objection, stop. You can't role play a 10-minute call with sales professionals, not professional actors, and then just repeat. So if you've replied to that objection 50 times in role play and got feedback and worked on how you sound, when it comes up on a call in the real world, just comes out your mouth. There's nothing to fear. And lastly, and it saddens me, I have to say this repeatedly to business owners, sales leaders and salespeople all the time in 2022. Record your sales calls and listen back to them all the time. Look at anybody at the top of their profession. Adele, Ed Sheeran, go back a bit, Robbie Williams, Tom Jones. None of these recorded their album in one take, didn't listen back to it and went, sure, it'll be fine, release that, we'll go in the pub. When your voice is the tool of your trade, you've got to review it. You've got to listen back to it, like anybody in a top profession would. Professional sports teams, professional golf players, people in the Masters this weekend will be reviewing the video of their swing straight after they've finished their 18 holes. Again and again and again. So, if you want the results from making sales calls, but you prefer to hide behind an email or just do nothing at all and hope people come to you, hope's not a sales strategy. Simplify your call. Make a super simple call opening that you can repeat and you'll feel more confident with it. Slow that process down. Don't expect so much from your sales calls. Just have a conversation. Be curious about somebody's world and you'll feel more confident. You might even find it more enjoyable. And role play. Pick an oppo, somebody you can help each other, and role play tiny parts of your call. Just your call opening, the first 10 seconds, and then repeat and tweak and review and repeat. One objection, and then review it, repeat it, tweak it, change it until it's really in the muscle. And finally, find a way to record your calls. Use your phone, video yourself, use your VoIP phone system, whatever it is. Listen back to yourself, review. You've got to listen to yourself if your prospects are going to. So get out there, start making some calls. Whether you like it or don't like it, doesn't really make any difference. Sometimes you've just got to do it.